Calling all authors, the Your Book, Your Voice podcast with host Robert A. Lane features everything you need to know about narrating your audiobook, but it doesn't stop there. We have special guests lined up from all aspects of the book publishing industry, and we also dive deep into what it takes to be mentally prepared for success as an author and in life. So please welcome your host, Robert A. Lane.
All right, my friends, how are you today? Welcome to the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I'm your host, Robert A. Lane with Robert Lane Coaching. We're streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. Again, appreciate you hanging out. If this is your first time tuning into the podcast, I am an audiobook coach and producer. That's what I do for a living. That's what Robert Lane Coaching is all about. And I specialize in helping published nonfiction authors narrate their own audiobook. Do it in your own voice. That is so important for a nonfiction author. So if you're a nonfiction author and you have a book, or maybe you have a book that has been out there for a while, maybe for a few years, now is a great time for you to turn that book into an audiobook that you, as the author, narrate, because there is no one on this planet, no one who can tell your story, who can speak your story the way you can. Only you can interpret your story the way you want it to be interpreted. Again, narrators are awesome. There are a lot of great narrators out there, professional narrators, and they have done a great job in narrating other audiobooks. But for you as a nonfiction author, you're the most qualified, because even though other narrators are great at what they do, it's still their interpretation. It's not your interpretation. Maybe there's a certain way that you would emphasize a word or phrase or something in your story that you're telling in your book, or especially if you're a coach or an entrepreneur or a teacher or an educator or a poet, and another narrator is not going to express your story the way that you would. So that's why it's so important for you as the nonfiction author, as the person who wrote the book, who lived it, who breathed it, who put your voice, which is in your written word, into your book. It only makes sense for you to narrate it. So that's what I do as an audiobook coach and producer, helping authors turn their book into an audiobook. I have a program called Your Book, Your Voice, which is the same as the podcast. Basically, I take you through the process of setting up your recording space, teaching you the fine art of voiceover and narration, how to do a great, compelling narration. And of course, you'll be published on Audible, Amazon, and Apple Books by the end of the 6-week program. And it's only 6 weeks. It's not 6 months or a year or 3 months even. It just takes you 6 weeks from setup and preparation to narration to publication. It's that easy, that simple. And as your coach and producer for your audiobook, I make sure that I am there with you. This is a do it with you program, that I'm there with you every step of the way. And once your audiobook is recorded, I do all the editing for you, make sure it meets the exact specifications for publication, and then upload your files, your audiobook for publication in the AAA, again, Audible, Amazon, and Apple Books. It's great, right? It is great because you have a great voice. You got to believe in your voice, of course, and you do have what it takes to narrate your own audiobook. So that's what I do as an audiobook coach and producer. Now, today's topic is an interesting one, and I think is very valuable, not only for you as an author, but just in general. The topic for today is don't be afraid to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. There's a lot of authors and just people in general. Let's just make this general for a second here. There's a lot of people who don't ask for help because for a variety of reasons. I would say the highest percentage of reasons for people not asking for help is there is some sort of fear-based reason for not asking for help. And it could be a number of things. We're going to get more into detail about that, but I wanted to share with you a story when I worked in the entertainment business, because that's what I did before I started Robert Lane Coaching. I worked in the entertainment world for 30 plus years in various facets of the business, from started off in radio, matter of fact, doing radio and voiceover and commercials and hosting talk shows and music shows and that kind of thing. And then moved on to do other things in on camera, off camera, post production. A big chunk of the work that I have done in the business, and I still do, of course, as an audiobook coach and producer, is editing audio, doing audio post production. And so I do that. And also, I worked about 14 years with Fox Studios, 20th Century Fox, before I left the business. So the story I wanted to share with you that is definitely tied into our topic of don't be afraid to ask for help. When I was working at Fox Studios, I had this idea, crazy idea of wanting to produce and direct my own film, my own short film. And that's a big, big task. And there's a lot of preparation that happens to put together a movie, uh, pre-production, post-production, the production itself. There's a lot of work and a lot of things that you need to figure out. So I had a lot of knowledge about how to do it, but I realized that there were some things that other people are better skilled than I was at the time to do this. And so I went out and I sought help. One of the first things I did was go to one of the big wigs that worked for Fox Searchlight, and I was just asking for some advice. I said, hey, I'm going to make this film. This is what I need to do. What is it that I need in regards to doing all the pre-production? What do I have to do to prepare? And he gave me so much information that I'm to this day, I'm still so grateful for all the information that he gave me. And he told me, this is what you need to do for pre-production. Here's the material for doing this and doing that and doing budgets and doing planning and all this stuff. And it was just this great amount of information. So I was able to organize and get everything prepared. I probably spent at least 2 months, maybe 3 months or so, just doing pre-production. So that's preparing before we actually did any of the shooting of the film. And then, of course, there's what do we do? We did auditions for the actors for the movie. This was a psychological thriller that I produced and wrote. And then, of course, shooting locations, how we were going to shoot, all that stuff. And then once that schedule was set, then there was the post-production schedule. How much time do we need to do the editing of the video, the editing of the audio, all the way up to premiering the film, and which was a lot of work. And the point is, you can't be afraid to ask for help, because I definitely needed to ask for help to do this project. It was a huge project. And aside from my friend from Fox Searchlight helping me, I got a lot of help from other people that worked in the same department that I was working in at Fox. There was an audio department. Since I was an audio guy anyway, I was able to get them to allow me to go into their big fancy mixing bays so I could go in there and do all the audio post-production and do this awesome 5.1 surround sound mix of the movie, which is really cool to do. But I went in there on my own time. They let me use the studio. They didn't even charge me for it, which was really, really cool. And then I had to find a place to premiere the film when it was done, and I wanted to premiere it at Fox Studios. And there's like a few screening rooms and theaters on the studio lot, but of course to rent one of those is very expensive. So I actually asked the person who was in charge of booking the theaters about doing a screening, and just praying, please give me a break. Please let me do this without charging me thousands of dollars to rent the studio, because there's no way I would have been able to afford it. And they actually came through. I think they charged me like $200, something like that, super dirt cheap, which basically was paying the projectionist to get him to come in for a couple hours to premiere the film, which was completely worth it. But again, I wouldn't have been able to do this if I didn't ask for help. And you as an author, okay, when you're writing your book, did you ask for help or didn't you? Matter of fact, or if you are writing your book right now, have you asked for help with it or not? I mean, and there's a variety of things that you can do to ask for help, but have you? Or are you one of those people who want to wear all the hats and do everything yourself? Now, another question I want to ask you is this, and feel free to put in the comments. I'd love to hear from you. You can tell me about your book. You can let me know if you asked for help with it. Did you hire a book coach? Did you, what did you do? Or did you not ask for help? So here's again, another question. Why did you ask for help, or why did you not ask for help? Maybe let's go that route. What stopped you from asking for help with writing your book or doing something to help build your author brand? Was there something that stopped you from asking for help? What is it? I'd love to hear from you. Again, there's a variety of reasons. And like I mentioned earlier, fear really is a thing that does create barriers. And being afraid is a thing where we tell ourselves negative things. Oh, they're not going to want to help me. They're not going to think that my book is good enough, or even when I was doing the film, well, why would someone want to help me with that? Why would somebody want to work on my film? They're not going to think it's good enough. But what that is basically is you're telling yourself that you're not good enough, and that is a huge false belief because you are good enough, right? You have a great story that you've written. Maybe you have your book published, it's out there in the world to read. And, of course, I hope you're going to turn it into an audiobook, because you definitely need to do that. That's a huge market that you're missing out on if you don't have an audiobook yet. But, your story is out there. So you are a professional, you are an author, you are an author brand. Your book is your product, your paperback, your ebook, if you have a hardcover, and of course your audiobook. That's your brand. That is you. That's what makes you you. And to up your product, right? To present your author brand in a way that really showcases how great you are as an author and your product is. You get people to help you out. You get people to help create this great brand that you have as an author. Same thing with the clients that come in for my audiobook coaching program. A lot of authors have some reservations about their voice, whether it's the quality of their voice, or maybe they hate their voice, or they don't have confidence in their voice. And we talk about that, and we build that confidence. We get rid of the fear, we get rid of the negativity, and turn that around into being positive. Because think of it this way. I appreciate every single author that's gone through my program, because they sought me out to help them create an incredible audiobook, which they have, and which you can as well. So again, don't be afraid. And we're going to dive into this deeper. I want to talk about the help stigma, okay? And I'm going to get into more of what that is and what that's about after we take a quick break. But again, our topic today is don't be afraid to ask for help. If there's something that you'd like to share about why you did or did not ask for help as an author, or just in general, put it in the comments. Love to hear from you. All right. You are listening to the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. Again, our topic is don't be afraid to ask for help. This is the Bold Brave TV network that we're streaming live on. I'm Robert A. Lane with Robert Lane Coaching. We'll be right back.
What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery, or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation. Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your Full Potential with Limitless Growth, published by iUniverse. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them, rediscover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio.
Okay, welcome back to the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I'm Robert A. Lane with Robert Lane Coaching. We're streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. Appreciate you being here. Again, our topic today is don't be afraid to ask for help. Before the break, I mentioned about the help stigma. Now, what I mean by that is, back in the day, let's go back in the day, about just the way people thought and maybe attitudes, especially with their job or career. Asking for help was looked down upon, or at least that was the thought process for a lot of people. Not that it was necessarily true, but some people thought that if I ask for help, I am showing weakness. Or, maybe you have people who are all macho and they're like, I'm not going to ask for help. Why would I do that? It's this whole macho attitude. But, that's where the mindset is definitely not skewed in the right way, because it doesn't really represent weakness. It doesn't represent being vulnerable. Asking for help is actually a good thing. As I mentioned earlier, fear does play a big part in people's conception of whether they're going to ask for help with writing their book or doing their audiobook or just any other thing in general. Maybe it's something at your job. Don't let that be a stigma. Okay, it's I don't think I want to say detrimental, but it can be. It can be detrimental to your business. Remember, you're an author. You're an author brand. You are an artist. You are a creative. And you are in charge of your business, right? The catchphrase, you are the CEO of you, because you are. You are. And you're in charge of the decisions that you make to move your business forward. And, again, and even to this day, there still is this thought of the back in the day thinking of, asking help is showing weakness. My boss is going to think that I'm not good enough. My boss is going to reprimand me for asking for help. I mean, I can even tell you stories, even working at Fox, that there were times where, I was working in a this is back when digital encoding was just becoming a thing, right? Like streaming is not a big deal. We all know what that is. We know about streaming files and all that. But when it first started, that was something that was just really, really new. And I was working in a department that was brand new, that was creating these digital files of TV shows and movies and all that stuff. And it was a brand new thing. Streaming was a brand new thing. And most studios weren't even doing it. Actually, Fox really was at the forefront of doing that. And but that was a whole new world and a whole new concept that I was trying to grasp. And I remember, my boss coming in and explaining all this stuff. Of course, he's going, a million miles a second, and you're trying to follow exactly what he's talking about. I'm trying to understand and grasp all this. And he came in a couple of days later, and I had some questions, and he was just like, "Oh, look, I already explained that all to you." And that, I know, creates tension, right? It makes you second guess, because then you're like, wow, I really needed to ask for some advice and some help on doing something for this project, and I'm not getting it. And that, can definitely tap into that fear of, why I'm not going to ask anymore. Why would I want to ask? Well, that's something that there are other ways to get help when you run into situations like that. Now, I don't want to dive into a whole life coaching and career coaching thing, which I have done, about dealing with fear that way. But I just wanted to bring that up as an example, that I can understand that maybe that is something that may stop you and may create that barrier of asking for help. But see, what's different, at least for you as an author, is that you are, again, a catchphrase, you are the CEO of you, which means, the buck stops right here. You're the boss, and the decisions that you make for your business as an author are really up to you. And asking for help is something that's just part of your business. So it all makes sense for you to go out there. And if you need help in doing certain things, whether it's hiring a book coach or hiring other people that can help you through the book writing process, or hiring an audiobook coach like myself for doing an audiobook when you want to narrate your own audiobook. And again, as I say, as a nonfiction author, you definitely need to narrate your own audiobook. You're looking for help to enhance and boost your business and your author brand. And that's a really, really good thing. And that's being a smart business person. Okay. So don't be afraid to ask for help. Now, matter of fact, speaking of help, because I don't want to forget about this, is that I do have a freebie that I want to give to you. And that is an audiobook narration reference guide. And we're putting that up on the screen for those of you who can see the video portion of this as we stream live on the Bold Brave TV network, on their YouTube channel, of course, and their other platforms. But there you can see a free audiobook narration reference guide. And this is a great guide that I want to give to you to help you with your audiobook narration. There's some really cool tools and tips and techniques that I share in this downloadable PDF. Grab it. It's for free. It's my gift to you. Because I want to help you. I want to make sure that you do a great audiobook narration. And this is a great way to have some tools and techniques handy. So download that, take a screen grab of that if you're seeing it. The link, by the way, if you're listening to the audio only version of the podcast, is a bit.ly link. So it is bit.ly/narration reference guide. Okay. So it's bit.ly/narration reference guide. Grab that, okay? And then you can always go to robertlanecoaching.com, and there's you'll see it up there. You can grab it there as well. But please grab your freebie. I want to give you that freebie, all right? Again, I want to help you. And the other thing that I wanted to mention is, when you're asking for help, it's a confidence thing. Okay. You're looking for people to help build your business. Okay. If there is somebody who can help you market your book, market your audiobook, you seek them out. Okay. You interview them, you see if you resonate with them. And that's really important. So, for example, I have my audiobook coaching program. It's called Your Book, Your Voice, 6-week program. Before I enroll anybody into my audiobook coaching program, we have a meeting. We do a Zoom meeting so that we can meet each other, see each other, talk with each other, You as an author will tell me about your book, explain to me what it's about, what your plans are for your book, why you want to do an audiobook, how we can market your audiobook, how we can do marketing strategies to help boost sales, not only for your audiobook, but for your other formats, whether it's ebook, paperback, and hardcover. But the point is having that conversation first. And that's really, really important, because what that does is that develops a relationship. And this is why when you're looking for people to help you with your author brand, it's good to talk to people to see if you resonate with them. Another example would be, some people ask me, hey, do you know an editor? Do you know a person who's really great at doing book formatting? Or even if someone's looking for a book coach, the book coach that I worked with was awesome, and I highly recommend him. Um, but I would give a couple of people and just say, talk with them, see if you resonate with them, and if you do, hook up with them. Okay. Same thing with my audiobook coaching program. I like to talk to the authors and talk to you first. And then, if it resonates and we're on the same page, and you're excited to work with me and I'm excited to work with you, then I get you enrolled and we get your audiobook done in 6 weeks with you narrating it. Right. So it's really good to, talk with people. But again, seek people out. Seek out the people who can do things better than you can, because that's just going to make the quality of your product better. That's what makes you a better author. That's what makes your book better. That's when you have book A, which is done self-publishing version, book B, which is done through traditional publishing, yet you put them side by side, and you know what? You can't tell the difference between which one was done by a professional book publishing company or a one that was self-published. And that's great, because that means that you who have maybe self-published your book did it the proper way. You sought out the people that can help you create the best product possible. I mean, when I did my book, same thing, self-published, but I sought out people that can help me uh, make this the best I can possibly make it. And that included finding and interviewing a variety of editors. I think I interviewed at least 5 different editors, and I wanted to see who I resonated with the best, because you're working with this person who's working on your book. And this is a personal thing. Remember, as an author, you're a creative. So, you want somebody who is working on your book that you really resonate with. And that's the process that I did to find the editor that I ended up working with, who did a great job. Loved her. She was great. And then I wanted to make sure that my book was formatted properly for ebook and paperback. And so I sought out formatters. And again, same process. You go through the process of interviewing people and talking with them and seeing who resonates with you. And then, of course, cover designers. I went with a cover designer that they did an okay job, but honestly, I probably would have gone with another cover designer, because I felt that the communication was not as strong and quick as I had wanted it to be. So again, that's why it's really important to not just look at only, well, how much is this going to cost? Because if you're going that route and you have that mindset, then you're going on ways to cut corners to get a product done. And that's not how to run a business. You can't cut corners when you are running your own business. Remember, as an author, that is your business. I don't look at any author who, whether you're self-published or you're with a traditional publisher, doesn't matter. You wrote a book, you have a book that's published, that's out there in the world. You're a professional, especially, and I really want to hit this home for those of you who are self-publishing. You are a professional. I consider you a professional, not a hobbyist. Okay, you're the real deal. Okay, you are putting all the time and effort and creating this great piece of work, this creative art that you have done in book form. Because you know what? Not everybody can write a book, and that's a testament to the skill that you have. And again, you can narrate your own audiobook, and I definitely want to make sure you understand and appreciate your own voice, because you can do it. And again, as a nonfiction author, you do need to narrate your own book because it's your story. Only you can, again, express and tell your story the way you intend it to be heard. But again, getting back to asking for help, find the people that can do things better than you can. Seek them out. Talk with a variety of people. Interview them, because it's interesting. You are the boss, right? You are the CEO of you. You are the one holding the interviews. It's different now, right? It's like the tables are turned. It's funny. It's like you have to change your mindset. If you have always worked for a company or worked for a business, or you're going out there interviewing for a job, you're always on the interviewee side of the table, and you're not the interviewer. But now you are, because this is your business. And so you're talking to people, and you're finding the right people that you can work with to build your author brand. And that is just so important. Okay, so don't be afraid, again, to ask for help. That's crucial. All right. Now, we're going to take a quick break. We're going to talk more about things that you can do to ask for help and why it is important. I want to touch on some of the intangibles of why it is important for you to seek help from people and build a team for your author brand to help you, again, create the best product you can possibly create. This is the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I'm Robert A. Lane with Robert Lane Coaching. We're going to take, again, a quick break. We're streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. We'll be right back.
Did you know that your beliefs create your entire reality, but it's the subconscious beliefs that do most of the creating? Belief shifter and life coach Shiraz can help you identify those limiting beliefs and eliminate them, often in a single session.
It was almost instant. I had relief right away.
Creating better health, relationships, careers, and finances. Let Shiraz help you step out of safety and into awareness.
Definitely something's happening. It's like a flow inside. It feels good.
Whether in person or online, Shiraz provides personal coaching, belief shifting. Visit Shiraz at energeticmagic.com or call 416-529-7429. Energetic Magic on the BBM Global Network, Tuesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern. Find your greater happiness. Be well. Be aware. Be magical.
Are you struggling to care for elderly parents or a spouse? Do you wonder if being a caregiver is making you sick? Are you worried about taking time off work to care for elderly parents and balance work, life, and caregiving? Has caregiving become exhausting and emotionally draining? Are you an aging adult who wants to remain independent, but you're not sure how? I'm Pamela D. Wilson. Join me for the Caring Generation radio show for caregivers and aging adults, Wednesday evenings, 6 Pacific, 7 Mountain, 8 Central, and 9 Eastern, where I answer these questions and share tips for managing stress, family relationships, health, well-being, and more. Podcasts and transcripts of the Caring Generation are on my website, PamelaDWilson.com, plus my caregiving library, online caregiver support programs, and programs for corporations interested in supporting working caregivers. Help, hope, and support for caregivers is here on the Caring Generation and PamelaDWilson.com.
And welcome back to Your Book, Your Voice. I'm your host, Robert A. Lane with Robert Lane Coaching, and we are streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. Now, if you are a nonfiction author, you have a book that's published, yet it is not in audiobook form, I would love to talk with you and tell you more about my audiobook coaching program, which is called Your Book, Your Voice, and you'll be published with your audiobook in 6 weeks. And that's where I take you from setup and preparation to narration to publication on Audible, Amazon, and Apple Books. That's the AAA. Would love to speak with you and talk to you about your book If, again, we resonate, and it's something that, well, you do need to do it, by the way, because the audiobook world is growing and expanding and always has been for the last several years. More people ask for audiobooks, more people are buying audiobooks, more people are asking for audiobooks by brand name, meaning they say, hey, are you on Audible? Can I get your book on Audible? Can I get it off of Amazon? Can I get it from Apple? Can I download it from Apple Books? Really important that your book is in audio form, and you've got to have an audiobook. And again, the most important thing is, of course, for you to narrate your own audiobook. But if you've been thinking about it, if you're considering it, if you're planning on doing an audiobook, reach out to me. I would love to speak with you. And you have one simple action step, right? Another catchphrase: success maker. Action takers are success makers. I got that backwards. Action takers are success makers. That's my phrase. And if you'd like to find out more and book a call with me, I would love to speak with you. We're going to put a graphic up on the screen for you who can see it, that this is to schedule a call for you to, excuse me, do an audiobook consultation call. And again, we talk about your book, we figure out what it is that you want to do with your book in regards to marketing strategies, and I'll give you more details about the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program. And I would just love to talk with you. And again, if it resonates, we get you enrolled. It's that simple. There's the link. It's bit.ly/audiobook onboarding. That's the booking link. Again, it's bit.ly/audiobook onboarding. All right. And again, if you go to my website at robertlanecoaching.com, there are lots of little buttons everywhere for you to book a call. So do it. I would love to speak with you about your book and tell you more about the audiobook coaching program, Your Book, Your Voice, in more detail. Matter of fact, in the last segment, I'll give you some more details about the actual program, but just wanted to share that with you. Now, the story that I shared with you, by the way, about making my own film, which was called IDOL, I-DOLL, where I went out and sought help, because I did. I do talk about it in my book, Lights Action You, which you can grab on Amazon. And of course, it's ebook, paperback, and audiobook. Of course, that story's in there, as well as other stories that I've shared from my 30 plus years working in the entertainment business. And then some tools and techniques and lessons that I've learned that I share when I was doing my career coaching and life coaching. That's what the book's all about. So I think you'll enjoy the stories, the entertainment stories, and get some good valuable information out of it. So just wanted to share that with you. Now, remember this when it comes to you, because you're the CEO of you. You're an author. You're an author brand. You're a professional. You're not a hobbyist. And you have a great product with your ebook, paperback, hardcover. And if you don't have an audiobook, you got to get an audiobook and add that to that arsenal of great products that you offer as an author. Okay. So remember, if you need help, ask for it. Bottom line, that's my piece of advice for you. Ask for it. You are the CEO of you. You're the boss of your business. You have to do what's best for your business. You need to make the investments in your business to move it forward. There are calculated risks when being an entrepreneur, because you are an entrepreneur as an author, and you need to have the confidence to take those risks and make those investments. Some investments are going to be great. Some investments may not work out. Maybe you'll try something. Maybe you spent thousands of dollars on a marketing campaign and you got nothing from it. Well, you take that as a lesson. You know what to do and what not to do. So the next time you do it, you're going to try a different approach. Or, when you do try that different approach, maybe you spent thousands of dollars on another marketing campaign, but it paid tenfold. You sold a lot of books. You got speaking engagements. You got all these other things that were a result of that. So, you have to take those risks as an entrepreneur and as an author, because again, that is your brand, that is your business. There is a difference, of course, between asking for help and being lazy, right? I know you're not lazy because you've put the time and effort and energy and blood, sweat, and tears and money and everything that you did to create that great nonfiction book that you published, okay? So I know that you're not lazy. You put in the work. Now, if you are doing things, or if you know people who do things to get other people to do things for them because they're too lazy, the problem with that, of course, is that, first of all, it's just a bad way to run your business. Secondly, you're going to get subpar product, okay? When you are doing it with the lazy route, and again, I stress this so much with my clients and with my social media and everything that I talk about, and that is not cutting corners. It is so important for you as an author, as your business, to never cut corners. Never, ever cut corners. And especially when you're doing an audiobook. And again, this example, of course, I just want to really hit it home because it is really important that you never, ever cut corners when it comes to your author brand, especially when you're narrating your audiobook. You, as the nonfiction author, need to narrate your own book because, and I've said it before, and I'm going to say it a million more times, is that no one can replicate you. That's what makes you unique. That's why people love reading your book, because you resonate with them. And what resonates with them is your unique style, your unique personality, and your unique voice, which is already in your written word. That's why you narrate your own audiobook, because no one can replicate you. All right. So again, getting back to cutting corners, you can hire a great narrator. That's great. But it's still their interpretation. No matter how great they are, it's still their interpretation. The other thing about cutting corners, and I really hope you never do this as an author, is going the AI route. Or KDP, Kindle, has been sending out emails to authors about using their virtual narrator, which basically is AI. And that is the biggest mistake that you can make as an author, because what you're doing is that you're cheapening your author brand. That uniqueness that's in your written word is gone. All right. You have to have consistency with your product. Your product, with your ebook, paperback, and hardcover, has to be consistent with your audiobook. It has to be consistent across the board, or you're cheapening your product as an author. You don't want to cheapen your author brand. Of course not. This is your business. This is your company. This is who you are. So don't cut corners. AI is not going to represent you. You represent you, and only you can represent you. So please don't ever cut corners. Don't ever, ever cut corners. That's another big piece of advice that I wanted to share with you. Now, in regards to the fear aspect of asking for help, I want you to think about it this way. Asking for help, it's not a sign of fear. Matter of fact, it is the exact opposite. It is a sign of strength. It is a sign of strength because it shows that you are not afraid. You are not afraid to ask for help. And it shows strength. It shows that you're in charge of your business. It shows that you are the CEO of you. You are in charge of your business, and you're doing whatever it takes for you to create the best possible product that you possibly can and putting it out there in the world. That's running a great business. And again, believing in yourself, which I know you do as an author. You wrote your book. You wrote this great nonfiction book. Of course you believe in yourself. You believe in yourself enough to follow your dream, to tap into your purpose, to tap into the core reason of why you wrote your book in the first place. It's such a beautiful thing. And now, by turning it into an audiobook, you're now solidifying your author brand. You're preserving the integrity of your written word, which is all part of your author brand, because that's in your voice, right? The written word, your voice is in your written word. And by you narrating your own audiobook, of course, is preserving your author brand. So that is a great way to really establish who you are what you do, and put it out there in the world for them to enjoy, right? And another thing about audiobooks is, again, it's a growing market. You should be narrating your own audiobook, and it does help in regards to boosting revenue for your ebook, paperback, and hardcover, because people buy audiobooks, and 9 out of 10 times they're going to pick up your paperback or they're going to get your ebook. And a lot of people like to listen and read along at the same time. I'm finding that more and more. And matter of fact, I even do that. I'll grab the paperback version of a book that I'm listening to uh, with the audiobook, and I'm following along because there's some really great points, especially if it's books about entrepreneurship and coaching and that kind of thing that I can utilize and apply to my business to help build what I do with Robert Lane Coaching. I'm going to highlight in that book certain things that really stand out, and that helps build my brand, my coaching business. And it does the same thing for you as you build your brand as an author business, right? Your author brand. So again, if you need help, ask for it. Okay, that's the biggest takeaway that I want you to get from this episode, is not being afraid to ask for help, getting the people who can help build your business. And remember, by you asking for help is a sign of strength. It is not a sign of weakness. It is not a sign of vulnerability. It is definitely something that you shouldn't allow fear to stop you from seeking out help for anything that you're doing, all right? Whether it's writing your book, whether it's working on a project, whatever it is, okay? Don't let anything stop you from moving your business forward, okay? All right, you are listening to the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I'm Robert A. Lane with Robert Lane Coaching. We're streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. I do want to share with you some more details about the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program that I teach. We'll dive into that when we come back. Don't go away.
Author, radio show host, and coach John M. Hawkins reveals strategies to help gain perspective, build confidence, find clarity, achieve goals. John M. Hawkins' new book, Coached to Greatness, Unlock Your with Limitless Growth, by Audiobook. Hawkins reveals strategies to help readers accomplish more. He believes the book can coach them to greatness. Hawkins says that the best athletes get to the top of their sport with the help of coaches, mentors, and others. He shares guidance that helps readers reflect on what motivates them. We discover and assess their core values, philosophies, and competencies, find settings that allow them to be the most productive, and track their progress towards accomplishing goals. Listen to John Hawkins' My Strategy, Saturdays, 1 p.m. Eastern on the BBM Global Network and TuneIn Radio. What if there were a super tiny device that could diagnose the brain and is smaller than a single human hair? What if you could see inside the brain to help an epilepsy patient during surgery or to help the fight against Parkinson's disease? Dr. Patricia Broderick is proud to announce the Broderick Probe, a biomedical and electronic breakthrough. Imagine a probe to help with the understanding and potential cure of brain-related diseases. To learn more, listen live to the Easy Sense radio show with host Dr. Broderick, Wednesdays, 7 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave Media Network and TuneIn Radio. And to help support the Broderick Foundation, please go to EasySense.com and learn how, with your help, we can fight these horrific brain disorders. That's EasySense.com to learn more and help support the Broderick Foundation.
And welcome back to Your Book, Your Voice. I'm Robert A. Lane with Robert Lane Coaching. Appreciate you being here. We're streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. Just to wrap things up or give you a quick summary of our topic of don't be afraid to ask for help. Key points, all right? If you need help, ask for it. You're the CEO of you. You need to make the decisions to help build your author brand. Seeking out help from people who can do things better than you can is the way to go. Being the jack of all trades, right? Being that rogue loner who does everything, I do everything myself, is really not the way to go, because you're not going to be able to put out as high of quality of product if you try to do everything yourself, because there are people out there who could do things better than you can. Just accept the fact that, there are, and that's okay. That's why, as an entrepreneur, because you are, as an author, you are an entrepreneur, that's why you build a team. You surround yourself and build a team of people that can do certain things, certain tasks that enhance and build your business. That's why you, as the boss, as the CEO of you go out there and you find people and you interview them and you hire them to help you with the certain things that you need to build your author brand. That's what's so important. Now remember, asking for help, again, is not a sign of fear. It is a sign of strength. It is showing you that you are in control of your business as an entrepreneur, as an author, as a published nonfiction author. You got a book out there. This is your product. You are the boss. You are the CEO of you. This is your story. You are a great entrepreneur. And that's just such a great thing to love and appreciate about yourself, and especially love and appreciate the voice that you have. Your voice is in your written word. And if you don't have your book as an audiobook yet, you need to do that, and you need to narrate your own book. You have what it takes. You do have the skill and you do have the voice. Don't hate your voice, embrace your voice. Love this beautiful voice that you have. Love this great cranial skull that you have, because that's your resonator. That helps create the voice that you have. Love it, embrace it, because you have what it takes to do it. Now, I created the Your Book, Your Voice audiobook coaching program to help you and to guide you with this Do It With You program that takes you from setup and preparation to narration to publication on Audible, Amazon, and Apple Books, the AAA, by the end of the 6-week program. 6 weeks, not 6 months, not a year from now. You get it done in 6 weeks, and you can do it, and you will do it. That's what my clients do. And they sound fantastic. Go to robertlanecoaching.com. If you scroll down, you'll see a section of samples of authors who've gone through the program, and you can listen to their audiobook. And they sound great. And you will sound just as good too. So basically, the program is this. I'm going to do a bird's eye view, and it's divided up in 3 basic sections. The first is setup and preparation. And that is where I teach you how to set up your own recording space. And with that, the beauty of that is that you are on your schedule, okay? And that means that you have your recording space set up where you can record when you want to. You're not relying on having to pay, thousands of dollars renting a recording studio somewhere and hiring an audio engineer and doing all that stuff. You can set up your own space. It's not that difficult, and I teach you how to do it. And to help you do that, when you enroll in the program, I send you the equipment that you need to set up your own recording space, your microphone, everything that you need, headphones. We go over the recording program, everything that you need to set up your own recording space. I teach you how to set up your account for publication into Audible, Amazon, and Apple Books. And everything that you need to be set up to do your audiobook on your time schedule. That's the way to do it. The next phase is the fine art of voiceover and narration, teaching you not only the practical aspects like mic placement and body posture and breathing and all that stuff, but more importantly, the intangibles, bringing your purpose, tapping into your why, getting excited about the reason why you wrote your book in the first place, bringing that emotion, bringing that energy, bringing it to life. And those are the intangibles that make a mediocre audiobook become a great audiobook, because now you're bringing your unique style, your unique personality. Everything that's unique about you is coming out in your narration. And that is so important. So I'll teach you all the tools and techniques to do a compelling, engaging narration from opening credits to closing credits, and being conversational, and most importantly, being authentic, being your authentic self, because that's why people resonate with your book in the first place. You're just bringing your book to life in the audio world by creating an audiobook. All right. Then the last phase of it is where I get to do all the heavy lifting. How about that? I do all the editing of your audio files so that your audiobook sounds great, nice and clean and crisp, and just sounds fantastic. And then I make sure that your audio files meet the exact specifications for publication. So you're guaranteed to be published on Audible, Amazon, and Apple Books. You're not going to be rejected. 100% will not be rejected. And then we also talk about marketing strategies and things that you can do an audiobook launch and to promote your book and to boost sales and to utilize this great format to get other gigs like speaking engagements and doing other things to help promote yourself as an author and also promote the other formats of your book like your ebook, paperback, and hardcover. All right, so that's what we do in the audiobook coaching program. So I'd love to talk with you about your book, and all you need to do is schedule a call with me. All right, book a call with me. And it's just a simple, quick audiobook consultation call. We're going to put the graphic up there one more time so you can check it out and take a screen grab of that. And if you can see that, and if you're listening to the audio only version, the link is this, bit.ly/audiobook onboarding. Okay. You can also go to robertlanecoaching.com and you can grab the link there to just where it says book a call, click the button, schedule a call. It's my calendar. You talk with me directly. You and I talk. If it resonates and you want to get your audiobook recorded with you narrating it in your own voice as it should be and have it done in 6 weeks, done deal. All right. So I look forward to speaking with you on that. So with that, my friends, that's going to wrap things up for this edition of the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. I appreciate you hanging out. One last assignment, and that is this. When you're out and about, go and smile at a stranger. Say hello to them. Maybe give them a compliment, because that small gesture of kindness could be the one thing that makes that person's day, because you don't know what they're going through. And maybe just a little smile will just really brighten their day. And with that, go out there, be good humans. I'm Robert A. Lane with Robert Lane Coaching. This is the Your Book, Your Voice podcast. Thank you so much. We'll be back next week, of course, with another edition of the podcast. We're streaming live on the Bold Brave TV network. Appreciate you so much. Have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.
This has been Your Book, Your Voice with host Robert A. Lane. Tune in each week for another powerful and informative episode of Your Book, Your Voice, Thursdays, 8 p.m. Eastern on the Bold Brave TV network.